sure you can concentrate on your homework in here, babe?
Yeah.
Dad, come on, how many times do I have to tell you to smoke in private?
Medicinal.
Smells good out here.
Hey.
How was the parent-teacher conference?
Fine, I just
Have you
wanted
paid this?
to encourage him to have more friends. Yeah, I paid this.
What's going on?
I can't be your housewife anymore. I've given up a lot for us. I just need some time away.
What's up with you? You seem off.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm totally fine.
Everything's okay?
Everything's good.
Party's here.
Oh my God.
Daddy told me what happened. Men are such dicks, all of them. Dakota, you look like a grown man. Come here.
I'm late for work.
It's Sunday.
She always works on Sundays.
I love you. Am I ever gonna have sex again?
We're gonna find somebody.
What do I say?
You'll be like, hey, what's up? I've only had sex with one person. Give it to me.
I met George at 18, got pregnant at 19.
Wow, that's kind of exciting, actually. It's like you're starting out for the second time. So, what happened?
He wasn't happy.
Sometimes you change and you don't change together.
I didn't have it as figured out as I thought I did. I fell asleep at the office.
In my dress.
You just got a lot going on, Alex. You'll figure it out. You always do.
Wait, you missed a week of school? This isn't how the world works, Lily.
You think you're so perfect? Look at your life. It's a mess.
How am I gonna do it without you?
You're doing it.
No matter how out of control most of life is, there are some things that are forever if we fight for them.
Today we're talking with director Chris Messina.
Hey, guys. Hello. Thanks for coming out today. Can you hear me okay? Beautiful day in New York City.
So what's it like to be called a director? I mean, like, you shot this film, what, how many years ago? Just a year back, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's nice being called. I could get used to that.
Yeah.
I directed a lot of little plays here in New York, like Black Box Theater and stuff. I think most of the directing I've done. Are there a lot of actors out there? No. Okay.
Directors? No. All right.
No. Well, a lot of as an actor, you have to make audition tapes a lot. So a lot of my friends would call me up, and I would do the same to them. You call them up and ask them to make a tape, So that's where I kind of got really fond of directing, working with my friends, trying to get them a job, And that kind of taught me how to work with actors, because they would sometimes say, like, hey, leave me the fuck alone, don't say that. And then sometimes they would say, that's great, that was really helpful, so.
How long have you wanted to direct a feature for? Was it just this screenplay that spoke to you, or has it always been a passion of yours?
Yeah, I wanted to do it for a while. I did a movie called 28 Hotel Rooms with Electric City. They produced that, and I kept telling them that I wanted to make a movie. And then they brought me the script, but it was quite a while. It's very scary directing a movie. When you direct a movie, first-time directors, everybody's always taking a risk on you. The producers, the financiers, all the actors. So it's one thing to say to your friends or to your loved ones, hey, I think I'd be a good director. And then everybody's sitting around on the day and they're looking at you going, so now what? So it was scary, but it was something I really found a lot of joy in and hope to do many more times.
Now, you didn't write the screenplay for this, but you did contribute to the screenplay for the 2012 indie Fairhaven, which I think also premiered at Tribeca, as this one did just, last year. Yeah. Did you, how did this screenplay come to you?
Well, those guys brought it to me. Electric City, Jamie Patricoff and Lynette Howe brought me a script. The script was kind of like a collage of all these different characters in Venice. Kind of like Singles. Do you remember Singles, the movie? but at the core of the collage was this family that was just really interesting to me. And so we got, the writers and I got together, and we started cutting out all the characters that weren't the family. And we kept working on it, and then we brought in this other writer, Jessica Goldberg, who's a fantastic writer, and she came in and really cracked open the story for us, and then we felt like we had a movie we could make.
Was it the fact that it was a character-driven drama really appeal to you, given your experience as a director directing actors' reels?
Yeah, I wanted to make a movie that I would like as an audience member, and also a movie that I would give that I would like as an actor. So I tried to put together a playground really for actors who want to explore. I've gotten to work with great filmmakers, so I've tried to steal from them and incorporate what I learned there. And I work with a lot of shitty filmmakers, and they taught me a lot of what not to do. And so I tried to bring that to my movie. A lot of times in the movie we would set up, if you and I were in a scene, we'd put a camera on you, and we put a camera on me, and we shot on this camera called the Alexa, and the cards that go into that camera, I think they're 27 minutes. So we would run, if this was the scene, we would run 27-minute takes, one on you, one on me, and we would, we'd say the lines, and then we'd improvise, and we'd paraphrase. Sometimes we'd just sit in silence and kind of wait for things to happen. It was a lot. I like working that way, and I think the actors enjoyed that. So I got to set up that playground, rather than kind of ask a director on another set, can we just put the camera on me and just run it? Because every time you call cut, someone comes and plays with your hair, or they adjust the mic, and the tension kind of deflates. So that's kind of how we worked.
Did that approach kind of stem from your theater background? Because you've done off-Broadway, Broadway before you really became more known for your screen work.
Yeah, a little bit from theater. I like, maybe it's indulgent, but I like kind of sitting and waiting for something to happen rather than, action is a weird word unless you're doing an action movie. Like, it's a weird word to say action, because you feel, as an actor, you feel like you gotta, like, what do I gotta do it now, But, so we would just kind of go like, well, whenever you're ready. Which was confusing sometimes, because the actor would be like, did he say whenever you're ready? Or did we go, are we ready? Should we do it now? But action's good if it's like a big, are you on like some kind of tracking shot over there? Back there? Yeah. I mean, action's good for that, probably, because you want to get it right, or you want to, it's going to look good a certain way if we're running past the camera. But when two people are sitting here, and then it's funny sometimes when directors scream action, and you're in an intimate scene like this, and they scream, action! And you're like, what the fuck is he yelling at, We're right here, Just be like, whenever you're ready, Anyway, that's what we did.
You mentioned earlier the good directors and the shitty directors that you've worked with over the course of your career. I'm guessing you went to some good directors, before you took on this project to get their advice. I mean, you've worked with Ben Affleck, so I'm guessing you two share a lot in common, given the fact that he's an actor turned director.
He's awesome. I love Affleck. His movies are a little bit of a bigger budget than Alex of Venice. But yeah, he was very helpful. He was always helpful on set, because when we were shooting Argo, we would shoot something, and then because he had a big budget and we had days, we would go back to the video village and watch playback, and then he would say, like, a lot of directors don't do that, by the way. They want to keep the actors away. They probably had experiences where the actor got in their head from watching themselves. In truth, I think the actor knows if they can handle it or not. They go back to the video playback and they watch it, and they go, oh, I look terrible, I sound terrible, I can't, oh God, I'm terrible. And they walk away, they can't handle it. But other actors can watch it and learn and go, oh, they're not seeing that thing I'm doing over here. I need to be this way or that way. Anyway, but Ben was cool. He let the actors come back and watch the monitor, and we would learn from our mistakes, and we go back and try it again. On my movie, we didn't have that time or that luxury, so I had my friend Matt Del Negro, who's an actor and a great old friend of mine. He'd come to the set and he'd direct me while I was acting. So if you came to the set any of those days that I was acting, you wouldn't think I was the director. You'd think Matt was the director. But that was really helpful. I also talked to Coppola. It was amazing. I got to sit down with Coppola and ask him questions.
Which one, Francis?
Francis,
Okay.
yeah. I did Gia Coppola's movie, Palo Alto. I had a small part, and he called me in for a meeting, and we talked, and I asked him so many questions about directing. And he told me to do silent takes. He said that sometimes when you're editing, sometimes the dialogue's not working, and so you cut to a silent response from the actor, and it kind of fix a scene, And we did that all the time, and he's right. So many times a scene wasn't working, and I just would cut to you doing that, and then cut back to the rest of the dialogue, and it worked.
Has he seen the film?
He has. He came to we went to this San Francisco Film Festival. We closed the film festival, and he came. He was sitting right in the audience.
Must have been a little nerve-wracking.
A little nerve-wracking. Obviously, a huge hero of mine. His movies really Coppola, and those actors. Pacino and De Niro, and of course Brando. Those. When I was a kid in Long Island, those were the reason why I wanted to become an actor. Those guys. So.
And so many actors turn directors, on their first or second feature. They make it a vanity project. They put themselves at the center of the story. I know you didn't write the screenplay for this, but the film is, arguably Mary's film, and you do play a small but pivotal role in the film. Had a script come your way where, you could envision yourself as the lead character? Do you think you would have jumped on it quite the way you did with this one?
No, I mean, the writer always had me in mind for the part I ended up playing, and as we got closer to filming the movie, I kept thinking of all the other great actors that would have been better in that part. And I'm happy that the producers kind of made me stick in there, because it was a great lesson to direct and act and wear those different hats. I'd like to try that again. But no, I wanted to direct. I did want to get a taste of what it would be like to act and direct. But I really wanted to direct. Actually, the least fun I had was when I was acting. And then when those days were over, or those scenes were over, I'd be relieved, and the good news, though, whenever I was terrible, which was a good amount of the time, I could say, I'll cut that out, There was actually more of me in the movie, and I was like, oh, that's terrible, and I can just get rid of it,
As someone who's not terrible, and you're not terrible in the film, but Don Johnson is awesome, and it's just so good to see him back up on the screen. I mean, the last time I think I saw him was in Django Unchained. He might have done something since, but how did you bag him for the role, and what was it like to work with Don in this performance?
Well, he's amazing in the movie.
He plays her father.
Yeah, he plays Mary Elizabeth Winston's father, and he's an actor in the movie. He's an old television actor who's now dabbling in theater, and he's auditioning for the Cherry Orchard. I wanted an iconic actor to play the role, and he was the first person I thought of. I was a big Miami Vice fan when I was a kid, and I always thought he was great. And I went up to his house in California, and he brought me to his son's basketball game. I didn't really give a shit about his son's game, but I kept watching the game. Like, oh, he's really good. Yeah, he's really good. So do you think you want to do the movie? And he'd be like, oh, look at that. Look, he scored. I'd be like, oh, he's great, Don. He's going to be. He's got a big future, you know. And he was super cool. He wrestled with it. He wrestled with the part, and he was really brave to take the part. I don't think you guys haven't seen the film, right? So I won't go into why he was brave to take it. But if you see the movie, I think you'll get it. But he was super cool. The first couple of days, whenever you take a first time, whenever you work with a first time filmmaker, you're taking a risk, and so I think the first couple of days he was probably like, what the hell did I get into, There's no trailers, Every now and then we're like, oh, the light looks good over here. Let's shoot this now, let's shoot it now, But he was cool. He just rolled with it. I was nervous
days, right?
directing him. Say that again?
You just shot it in 21 days, right?
21 days, yeah. 21 days, and I'd like to go back and shoot another 21,
Yeah. I guess one of the reasons I brought up his character is because, as you said, he plays an actor in the film, and the film kind of finds him at this stage in his career where nothing's really going right for him, and he's trying to be taken seriously in his middle age as a performer. As an actor yourself, what about that role spoke to you, if at all?
His part?
His part, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a scene in the movie where he auditions, and I think they say to him, like, we're only going to...
for the older part.
Yeah, we're going to read for the older part. We're only going to do the first scene, they say. So as an actor, this is really no fun, but they give you, like, a lot of times you'll get, like, a call, sometimes the night before, and they'll give you, like, 14 pages of sides, which is 14 pages of different scenes, And you grab your girlfriend or your boyfriend and your friends, and you just, maybe you call your acting teacher, and you just work on it. You want the part. If you're lucky, you got 2 days, maybe 3 days, and you usually, almost every time you get into the room and they say, we're only going to read the first scene, but you were like, I was up all night with my girlfriend working on this, And she wants to kill me, Let's do it again. Let's do it again, So it's a weird life being an actor. It's beautiful, it's great, but it's also, so that's what I related to with his character, was the ups and downs, and it's a great privilege to be an actor, but it's a very odd thing to do, It's fun. You get if you're lucky, you get to work with great people. You get to come and talk to people about something you love. I love this movie. But then there's a lot of times where you just want to crawl up and be like, in a ball and be like, is there anything else I could do? This guy. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I pick this?
Talked about ups and downs. You're going through a lot of ups right now. You're more well known now than ever. But that didn't really happen to you until you kind of entered your 30s. What did that kind of afford you? Do you think, not really making it big until that age?
Say it again.
What did that kind of afford you? That kind of
afford me.
Yeah. You think you're saner because of it?
I think I'm more realistic. I feel very lucky, and I look around and I see so many talented actors that don't have anything. They don't have an agent. So I think I'm very lucky, and I think, I think I would have been a mess if I would have had any success at 26. I think I would probably had problems. But I certainly don't feel, for better or worse, I've made it, or this is it. I still have so much to do and to say, and I feel like this is very much the beginning of my career,
So this is obviously the beginning of your directing career. Do you have anything planned next as a director?
I have a bunch of scripts I'm working on, and hope to. I have a film that I want to direct my friend Sam Rockwell in that we're working on now. So, you know, we'll see what's next, but I'm excited to get back out there and do it again. You know, because you make so many mistakes that you know, just want to try it again, you know.
Cool. We're going to open it up to the audience. If you have a question, there's a mic going around. Just raise your hand, and it will come to you. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
I really enjoyed you in The Giant Mechanical Man. Yeah. What was it like getting into character both mentally and physically for that role?
Oh, thanks for watching that movie. Yeah, I had fun making that.
Another Tribeca premiere.
Another Tribeca.
We got a
premiere,
bunch.
Yeah. Tribeca's been good to me. That was fun. You know, I had to learn how to walk on stilts for that. So, but they weren't really that hard. They were painter's stilts. So, they weren't like real stilts. But you know, I fell a couple times, but it wasn't too bad. It was fun. Jenna Fisher is in that movie, and her husband directed the film, and we met a lot and worked on it. And that movie was similar to your question about being an actor and like what relating to Don Johnson. That movie's about an artist or a guy that's trying to express himself, and nobody cares or can see him. So, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, I really related to that. That was fun to play. I love Jenna, and it was her husband's first film, and we had a great time. We were in Detroit, and it was very cold. I think I got pneumonia doing that movie, yeah. But yeah. Thanks for watching that, yeah.
What do you prefer doing, acting or directing?
I like them both, you know. I like to be in charge. That's kind of fun, you know. I like to collaborate with people. So if I'm acting, I just don't want to be told. I have a tough time being told, you know, stand here, say it louder, go faster. I have a tough time with that. So when if I'm acting and I feel like the people really value whatever it is that I bring to that particular project, then I love acting. But if I'm on a set and people are kind of bulldozing through what I have to say, then I want to get the fuck out of there, you know.
Hello. I have to throw in a Mindy question. In real life, have you been as close to your ma as Danny Castellano is?
Yeah, I love my ma. She's a great lady. My mother was. She was a dance teacher. You know, she put me in dancing school, and I wanted to be Baryshnikov when I was growing up. And she's different than Rhea's character on the show, but she's a lovely, supportive, great lady. So.
Hi there. In your career, what has been the most exciting job that you've gotten? What really did it for you the most?
Well, when I got Vicky Cristina Barcelona, Woody Allen was like one of those, you know, experiences where you go like, you know, you go in for, you probably heard these stories before, but you go in for Woody Allen and you don't take your jacket off. Like he's just going for like 30 seconds. And he's like, oh, I just wanted to, you know, take a look at you and okay, you know. And then you leave and your agent calls like, how'd it go? And you're like, I don't think it went too well. You know, I was in there for like 30 seconds, you know. And she's like, no, that's what he does. You know? And then the next minute, you know, he wrote me a letter and sent me. You don't get the whole script; you just get the sides, your scenes. And then you're in Barcelona, you know, with Scarlett and Javier and Rebecca Hall, Penelope Cruz, and you're like, I'm certain in this cast that if anyone's going to get fired, it will be me. So luckily, I didn't get fired, and he was super cool to me, and I had an amazing time. I was a big, you know, Manhattan and Hannah and Her Sisters and Annie Hall, Stardust Memories. They're all some of my favorite movies.
Where do you keep the letter?
I have the letter framed because Javier Bardem, who's one of my favorite actors, we have a scene that was cut out of the movie, but he was doodling. He was doodling when we did the scene because he plays an artist in the movie, and he drew this picture, which was kind of great. And he drew it. We were in a restaurant, so he did it on the tablecloth, but it was paper. So after the scene was done, I ripped it out the picture and I took it home, and then and my wife then framed the Woody Allen letter and picture together. It was nice. It's nice.
Hi. You work with a really amazing cast on the Mindy project.
Oh, thanks.
So I was just wondering, do you have any hilarious behind-the-scenes prank stories?
It is April Fool's.
Yeah. Is it April Fool's?
Yeah.
No. Well, I don't know. We laugh a lot on that show. They're always making fun of me, and it's very funny. I'm trying to think of a particular story. We have a hard time. Once somebody starts laughing on that show, we have a hard time getting it back. And it's funny for a while. The actors are laughing, but is there a guy with no? And the guy with the boom mic that he's after a while he's like, all right, stop fucking laughing. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, I think, one time recently at the end of the season, they had to kick me out of the scene. So my coverage was done, and somebody had to enter the scene. And I kept laughing at them, and the camera was behind my head. So eventually, after 6, 7 tries of this, they said, Chris, we're going to put in your stand-in, and you should go back to your trailer, and calm down a little bit, That was it was a bit embarrassing, but But the whole point is to laugh on the show. If if you're laughing at something that somebody's doing, that it might work, that the audience might laugh. So it's hard to find something that's funny and then stifle it, But anyway, thanks for saying that.
We have time for one more question.
Hi, so you mentioned that you've done a lot of the bigger projects and smaller ones, and on say Argo, you had more possibilities and more time to do things. Yeah. Do you have a preference between the intimacy of smaller indie movies or the big budget kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, whenever I'm somewhere, I always want to be somewhere else. So when I'm on the big movie, I go it'd be nice if we just did it small. We don't need all this stuff, And then when you're on the little movie, you're kind of we need more time. We need more stuff, So I think my heart is more independent. I feel more. There's something about doing it fast, or having those restrictions that brings a lot of creativity to it. So I don't know. I like them both, but I've gotten to express myself more independently, and that's more fun. I've yet to do a big studio movie where I had a lot to do. Most of the time on the studio movies that I've been in, I'm there supporting movie stars, so it's fun to do. But in the independent films like Giant Mechanical Man or Alex of Venice or Fairhaven, I just had more of a voice, and therefore that felt better. That felt better for me. I felt like when I left for the day, I felt like I had expressed myself. I was tired, but from a kind of nirvana feeling, tired from excitement,
So the film comes out next week. It's also available on video demand platforms, so be sure to check it out. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thanks, guys, for coming. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.